Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another episode of this here podcast. And we were away last week. We know y'all are cussing us out. I ain't mean to leave y'all for dead. I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen, if we coulda, we woulda. And I know some of y'all are like, well, what happened to the best stuff episode? Bitch, I didn't have time. I'm sorry. I tried. It's a lot of shit going on. It's a two-man team over here. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a two-man team over here, and we're doing the best that we can. But before I get to cussing y'all out some more, y'all know how I gotta start the show. Crystal, how are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty relaxed. I just got finished with like a 90-minute massage therapy.
You love those.
So I'm pretty chill right now. The filming it's going. It's going.
Shut the hell up.
I really like the people, like in terms of like my actual department, and for the most part, like the crew that I've generally worked with, the ones who are like in the trenches with us and stuff like that. Working on an indie film, it's always you're getting low pay, you're wearing multiple hats, it's exhausting. Things are happening. There are things that very much I'm biting my tongue when I see things happening, like I'm just doing what I gotta do. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's like 2 more weeks, and then I'm over it.
And then it's done.
And then it's done.
Crystal, you are over it. She said, I'm doing what I got to do to get where I got to get. You ever seen that video of Mariah Carey where she's on the mic and she is like obliterated drunk? And she was like, I'm doing the best with what I got.
Mariah Carey's like her whole attitude could pretty much sum up the feelings I have towards this film. Like there's a lot of moments where I just want to be like, I don't know her.
That's a good one.
I don't know who she is. I don't know who
she is. So, Crystal, I see here on your resume that you worked on X film. You have anything to say about that?
I don't know who that is.
Moving on.
Done so many other things since then.
And you know what? As I'm flipping through the pages of your resume, it is quite extensive. So you know what? We're going to keep moving. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing the best with what you got.
Thank you.
That's good to hear.
I'll elaborate more with you. I really wish I could elaborate with you guys, but I don't know what I can say without getting in trouble. Maybe further down the line when the film is, been released, it's out, I can then vent more to you guys. But in this moment, unfortunately, I have to protect myself.
Remain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to have a contract. They're going to have a contract on Monday, like an NDA. So indefinitely in the future, you will never speak of us.
As far for me, I'm going to try to share a little something. It's been a marathon. We went away. That's why we didn't have an episode. We were gone. Well, I was gone. Sorry, y'all. Went and spent time with some family up north here in the northern part of the country. It was very, very nice. Very, very nice. We're going to talk about it offline, Crystal.
Right.
I have some pictures to send you too. But it was a very, very nice time. And before that, I had some personal goals that I had set for myself for the year that I met. And I am, when I tell y'all, I don't say at all that I am proud of myself, but bitch, I'm proud of me. Okay.
I think I saw something like this. Did you put this on like a LinkedIn or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I got the notification about it, and I meant to like text you or screenshot it and be like, celebrate with you.
Yeah,
But
girl.
set, I just
Girl.
I see one thing and then it just go and then it's like
And then it's
it's
gone.
gone.
Yeah. Let me
There's
tell
so
you
many,
something.
yeah. Go ahead.
I have been working.
I'm
Okay.
so proud of you.
Listen, Chris don't even know the
Not
shit that
really,
I've been
no.
doing. Cause I just do it. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't really talk about it. I just do it.
Hmm.
So that was kind of after meeting my last goal for the year, honestly. I was like, okay, let me share something. Let me kind of put something out there to let people know like what I've been doing.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm proud of me. Bitch, I did that. I
Hmm.
did that. And I don't celebrate myself at all ever. And I was having a conversation with a mentor of mine, and he was like, you have to stop like not taking ownership of your successes. He was like, why every time I give you a compliment, you turn around and give the compliment back to me? And I'm like, I was like, oh,
I
I
get
never
that.
realized that I did that.
Yeah,
Like,
I get
I
that
don't,
actually.
I don't do well with compliments for some reason.
Me either. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or something.
Hmm.
Where I just am like my successes are thanks to somebody else.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm
I feel
saying?
you. Yeah.
And I have just been trying over the past 2 months really to ground myself in the accomplishments that I have because bitch, I'm working. And I don't like Crystal know because Crystal don't even know,
Hmm.
she didn't know what those were until she saw what I
Yeah.
posted. And that's
Yes.
just because I don't like to burden people with the shit that I do. I just like to do it and try
Hmm.
to make everything work. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how my week
Well,
was.
everyone say congratulations to
Y'all ain't
me. We
that
so
ain't
proud of
that
you.
ain't
No, we
mm-mm.
are. You do it all the time for me. We're doing it for you. This is what we just talked about. Accept the
You
compliment.
and here you
Shut
go. Oh my
shut
god.
up.
How did I
Accept the
immediately
compliment.
do it? How did I immediately do it? Not even thinking about it. Oh my God. Anyway, let's get into the show. Oh, you
Okay.
got something?
No, you
No.
got something.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yes, you're right. You're right. I thought you had something else to say. I ain't want to,
No,
I ain't want to cut you off.
we're good.
Okay. Well, let's get into the mess of it all
Okay.
because I did a little research and I found me a new subreddit and I am so excited to share it with y'all.
Oh
Okay.
no,
Woo!
I'm excited.
Crystal. Oh my
Yay.
God. So this is from r/relationship advice.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Listen, I thought Am I the Asshole was messy. This shit here is on another level. Wait
Oh
till you
yeah.
hear this story.
Okay.
I audibly gasped alone in the kitchen when I read it. And my wife came in like, what happened? And I was like,
Oh no.
I was sorry, I was reading the story. So this one is entitled My Boyfriend Falsely Staged a Drug Intervention for Me. I'm not addicted to drugs. What do I do?
Wait, what?
Girl, we are coming out the cage swinging.
Well, I
Okay.
can't imagine it went too well then.
Woo, girl, wait till you hear the details. Here we
Okay.
go. I've 26-year-old female, been with my boyfriend, 27-year-old male for 3 years. Our relationship has had absolutely no issues before this incident. He has been the perfect and most loving partner. However, last week I came home from work to an intervention with all of my close family and friends, orchestrated by my boyfriend, who apparently convinced them I'm a drug addict. For context, I have no history of drug use, no behavioral signs that would suggest addiction, and no reason for him to believe otherwise. I believe he knows I'm not on drugs because he has said things to my mom and sister that he knows are untrue. That things have gone missing around the house, they haven't. That I've used his credit card to withdraw money, I don't even have his credit card details. And that I've been acting erratically, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. When I confronted him about all of these things, he said, it's not about the drugs, it's about making sure you're safe. Girl, run. My partner is a psychologist and has convinced my entire family I am displaying all the hallmark signs of drug addiction. They all insist that I'm in denial and that I need help. No one is willing to entertain my denials at all. My mom says she isn't willing to have me over to her house, and my sister won't allow me to see my niece until I go to rehab. Based on our conversations with my family and friends, I believe he's been spinning this story for several months now prior to staging the intervention. I'm super embarrassed as he organized for practically all my close friends, family, and even a work colleague to attend the intervention. But more than that, I feel utterly betrayed and confused. I can't understand his motivation for doing this. Can anyone offer some insight as to what is prompting this otherwise normal man to do this? Girl.
Where's that red flag guy? Red flag. Red flag. Like, no, I don't believe this. I don't believe for a second that there have been no hints, or I think you've been blind up until this point. Like, there's got to be something that showed that he was just a little bit unhinged, like just a little bit. Because you know what I would be doing? I think I would probably be finding my own experts and going to them and being like, this man has convinced my family of this. Can you analyze me and help me to prove? You know what? I don't even know, because at this point, I think I would, not only would I be so hurt and pissed, I don't even know if I would bother going through it with these people if you guys didn't even believe me. Like, I would really be looking at every one of them. What of my, besides what he's saying, because we live together, but like, what of my behavior with you guys? Because we all know when a drug addict, when things like this happen, it's not, their behavior isn't only witnessed by the people they live with. It's witnessed at some point by everybody in their life. So if you guys are all a constant in this person's life, what have you guys witnessed that you can say, oh yeah, that must be because she is on drugs? Like, that makes sense. Yep. Because if you can't come up with anything, then why are you believing this one individual right. over me?
Over me.
Because he's a psychologist? He ain't even graduated yet.
Girl. A whole what? Well, he is a psychologist.
No, I don't believe it. I don't trust it. Ain't no way. I don't trust it.
Girl.
This is a serial killer in the making.
Let me show y'all the first comment on this Reddit post that had me crying laughing.
Okay.
Get the fuck out now. I know that's right. This person said he's manipulating your friends and family to gain total control and isolate you. He's going to hurt you. That's all that needs to be said. That man wants you dead.
I'm surprised that, because with the way he's doing this, I'm surprised he didn't do it in a longer term. Like, he didn't get engaged. He didn't marry this girl and then spin it as her husband. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's literally all I can think of. Like, he wants some control.
He's crazy. He couldn't wait. No. He couldn't wait. He had to get that control over her now.
The bear. We choose the bear.
Because they've been together for how long? She said they've been together 3 years. 3 years. And you just now pulling this shit? Like, that's not long enough for me to stay in this thing for the long haul. Baby, I'm gone.
Yeah. Like, all of them I'd be gone. Like, my bags would be packed, new identity, new city, new friends, new everything. Like, I throw it all away. Because how do you move on from that? Like, that's a lot of therapy. And I don't even know if I could trust it now, because look at this guy. He is therapy. I don't even know if I can trust it now. So I don't know. Maybe you should do the rehab. Pick out the nicest fucking one you see and go on a vacation. Be like, you got to pay for this. If I gotta go to rehab, here it is. This is the one the
Now,
celebrities go to. This is a 5-star resort type. This is the only thing that's gonna
no,
help
but then you
me.
got to go through the programs and everything.
I
I'm
know,
not
I
finna
know.
be.
I'm
You
just
might as well
kidding.
put me in a fucking asylum, girl.
I know. And that's probably
Because,
what he's aiming for.
girl, can
But for
you
what?
imagine? I don't.
Because you're the boyfriend. So if
That's
anything, it would revert back to the family, and eventually you would hope, depending, the people would be like, yeah, no, she's fine. She's not exhibiting any of the behaviors you guys are talking about.
now devil's advocate. This bitch is crazy. Like, she is actually crazy, and
She
she
is
on
actually
Reddit trying to get some
crazy.
sympathy because she can't find it nowhere else. She was
I
like, you
don't
know what? The
know.
internet doesn't know me. They'll back me up.
Right. I will
Because her
say,
family is like, girl, we've been sick of your shit.
with the
Okay.
way this is written, it does sound like it sounds like these people are unhinged.
Okay. Because this
Either
man needs to
way,
be in the CIA. If he's capable of dismantling your entire life, like
mhm.
with surgical precision like this, he needs to be recruited by the CIA
Yeah, honestly.
because he has a talent.
Yeah. I
And
don't
get him there before he turns into a serial killer. Get him around
that's
some law
I'm
enforcement,
not
okay?
entirely convinced that that's not already the case.
Ooh, girl. Can you imagine that basement? Why do you have six
have
freezers in your
y'all
basement?
been renovating recently? Concrete on the
Yeah.
just wondering.
Because it's a lot of concrete slabs in the
Do you live in
backyard.
woods, the wooded area? You have a big
Hmm.
acres?
What is that smell? Y'all ain't getting. I'm just getting a whiff of something every few
Just
seconds. I'm just.
confused.
Y'all got something dead
Things
in y'all
aren't
air
adding up.
conditioning?
Things aren't adding up.
Yeah,
Well,
somebody ain't doing the math right.
no, the math ain't
Shout out to
mathing.
you, girl. Good luck. I hope you make it through the end of the year. Because
Yeah.
laying up with him, girl, tomorrow ain't guaranteed.
Mm-mm.
God bless you.
Okay. So moving on to my story. This is an Am I the Asshole? And this person's they did mention that English is not their first language. So there might be some typos and mistakes, whatever. Anyways, this one says, Am I the asshole for telling my husband he shouldn't be upset when my daughter said that her uncle would be the one to walk her down the aisle on her wedding day?
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that he ain't the daddy, but okay.
So I, female 46, got pregnant with my daughter Sarah, female 26, when I was in college. My parents and my then boyfriend's parents pushed us to marry, which we did. My late husband, unfortunately, passed away a week after our daughter's second birthday because of a heart complication that we did not even know he had. It was a very hard time for me, and I went through a very bad depression. 4 years later, I met my now husband, Robert, male 46, on a blind date set up by a friend. He was one of my best friend's cousins. We hit it off and got married a year later. Even when we were dating, he was very hands-on with my daughter, and it did not take too long for my daughter to call him Papa. Even until we got married, and when I got pregnant 2 years into the marriage and gave birth to twins, male 17 and female 17, he still acted like a father to Sarah. She was even included in my husband's family reunions and the cousins' group photo shoots that my in laws organize every Christmas. Things took a bit of a turn when Sarah turned 18. She started calling him by his first name, and both Robert and I were taken aback with the change of attitude she was displaying. I asked Robert what that was about, but he only shrugged, not knowing the reason. Not knowing the reason too. I thought things would go back to normal, but she has been consistent in calling him by his first name, so I asked her if we could talk. Robert asked if he could join, which Sarah agreed to. To make it short, my daughter overheard my husband talking about a Father's Day trip to his friends who owns a hostel. His friend asked him if he forgot to include Sarah since my husband only asked him to prepare 3 bedrooms. My husband replied that he planned this trip for his real children only.
And
It
there we
wouldn't
are.
make sense if Sarah was in the trip since he wasn't her real father. This made Sarah feel betrayed and hurt because she saw him as her real dad, even if she knew he was her stepdad. My husband tried to explain to her that though he loves her as a father, his love for the twins were different since they were his real children. I wanted to just shut him up because he was overusing the word real. But Sarah told us to leave her room. What made that day even more depressing was that this day was her last week with us before she leaves the country for college. Since
Mm.
then, every time she comes home, Sarah acts like nothing happened, but continues to call Robert by his first name. Robert didn't want to add fuel to the fire and just tolerated it. Now, few years since then, my daughter announced her engagement to her longtime boyfriend. We were very happy for her as they've been dating since they were still in college freshmen. 2 weeks before their wedding, we were wondering who would be walking Sarah down the aisle. I assumed it would be Robert since I thought we had moved past that incident, but no. My daughter scoffed at me when I told her about Robert walking her down the aisle. She says, I thought it was obvious that Uncle Greg, my late husband, my late husband's brother, would be the one to do that. Besides, I'm not his real daughter. It wouldn't make sense if he walked me down the aisle. I did not talk back, instead apologized for my ignorance and told her that I'll speak with Robert about it, since he also assumed he'd be the one to walk her down the aisle. When I told him what Sarah said, he was pissed, but I politely reminded him of the incident years ago, which made him even more upset. He said it was a long time ago and that Sarah should move on. I, who was offended for my daughter, told him that he shouldn't be upset since he didn't see her as his real child anyway. He then got teary eyed and told me to not speak to him. He still attended Sarah's wedding, but looked visibly down. We still aren't on good terms and have been pretending in front of relatives. My daughter does not know about this, and I want to keep it that way. But nevertheless, it's been a week since my daughter's wedding, and Robert is still upset. He only talks to me about the twins and household stuff, but beyond that, he keeps everything to himself. I feel really bad and think he is acting this way because of me. So, without being said, am I the asshole?
Child. Number one, I want to say shout out to the mom in this story for actually understanding the daughter and taking the daughter's side.
Facts.
That's rare. That is rare in these stories. Like, I am so... Shout out to you, OP. That warmed my heart because, girl, it could have gone left real fast. As far as Robert is concerned, Robert can chew glass. And here's why. He said what he meant, and he meant what he said when he said that she want his real child. And shout out to the daughter for standing 10 toes down on it and be like, you know what? If I ain't your child, you ain't got to worry about me, Robert. Okay, we're gonna be here with it. Okay, I see you and you see me. You hunching my mama, and I'm just on the sideline. Okay, I'm from, I lost my daddy. I guess, I'm the worst for it because you see me as less than in this family for that reason, just because my daddy died. Okay, you should be grateful, my daddy, because he got the hell up out the way so you can have him.
Yeah.
Okay. And we on quiet as is kept. Okay. You should be thanking me, bitch. Anyway. Robert, he deserves the worst. I hope that when he opens the car door, he ducks to get inside too fast and clips the top of his head. I hope that he stubs his toe every time he go around that one corner into the kitchen where the cabinet come out just a little bit too far. I hope that next time he pump gas, it's bad gas and he run out of gas on the highway. Just inconvenient things. I want very inconvenient things to happen for him for the next several months, for the foreseeable future. Because you hurt that girl to her core. If she carrying that with her all these years later, that shit hurt her, especially because you played daddy in her face until it was convenient for you to not do so anymore when your kids got old enough to where you could distinguish your love, and I say that in heavy quotes, your love for these kids on a greater scale. Because I don't care what you say. If it's my nieces and nephews versus my child, okay, I can see it. Okay, I love you little niggas, but this, I love... Girl, I gotta stop getting so comfortable. I love you little ones, but this mine here. Okay, this is a little different.
Yeah.
But if this is a child that I didn't raise, raise, point blank period. I'ma love this child. Like I know this child inside, and I just don't see how the step parents can make distinctions and distinguish between how much love they show their children.
Yeah.
Which is my whole thing about blended families in the first place. So
Right. Agreed. Yeah. I'm in a complete agreement with you. This I really hurt for this girl. Like to have found that out. And again, so many people, she didn't make a fuss. She accepted what she heard as being the truth, since you said it without without knowing she was around to hear it. You said it. That's how you felt. Like, period. There's no justifying. And then double down on it when you were confronted, like still trying to justify, saying, oh well, I mean, they're my real kids. Real kids. Like,
noted.
and it's always the person who's done wrong that seems to think they can determine when someone should be over something.
Girl,
enough time has passed. You should be over it. It's been years. You should be over it. You shouldn't even be upset about any that anymore because it's been so long. Why are you still upset about it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It don't.
You weren't the one who was wronged. If that person spends the rest of their life feeling upset about this moment in their life that really affected them, that's something they get to do. You don't get to be upset that they keep bringing it up, that they still hold resentment over it, because obviously it was a significant enough hurt that all these years later, all this time that's passed, it's still relevant to them in some way.
And you lucky you got an invite to the wedding in the first place. Okay? Because you ain't my real daddy. Right. You laying on top of my mama every once in a while. That's all I know you for.
Right.
You don't need to be at my special day. Girl.
And obviously, you haven't done hardly anything or even nowhere near close enough to try to remedy that hurt that you caused to justify her trying to actually getting over this painful moment. Because let's be real, when someone goes through a painful moment, the only real way to heal it is to have that remorse and that to have something to forgive for. But if you don't do anything, if you don't make any effort, you can't be upset that years later it's still a sore point to them.
Yeah. Girl, I got one of those. I'm gonna be messy and spill my own tea on here tonight because I don't give a shit. I have a family member that for a period of my adolescence, like growing into teen years, terrorized me for they just felt like I was getting things that I didn't deserve for some reason. They just felt I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it was, but they just felt like I was getting shit that I didn't deserve. And they were very, very vocal about it and very aggressive about it. But I am aggressive as well. So we were just aggressive to one another. But this person is significantly older than me, mind you. And I remember when we were making original wedding plans. But I mean, when I talk about, it was like literally a couple months before COVID hit and shut the world down. So the wedding ended up not happening on a large scale anyway. But
right.
I remember having a conversation with my mom where she was like, okay, with the guest list and whatever. And she was going over the guest list with me. And I was like, that person is not invited. And mind you, this is a very, very close family member. Like if this person wasn't there, it definitely would cause a lot of drama in the family because it would be very pointed. But I was absolutely like, that person is not attending my wedding, especially because, should I say this? No, I can't say that. I can't say that because it's going to identify who the person was. But let's just say that I played a part in their special day. And I was treated with such disrespect on that day. And mind you, I had turned down doing what I did for their special day.
Yeah.
But once again, my mother made me feel bad and was like, don't, it's old stuff. Like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I stood 10 toes down until like a few days before, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. And then they proved to me on that day
Yeah.
why I refused in the first place. And then from then on, it's been not like if I
I
don't have to, I don't, you know.
yeah. I get
So I
that.
completely understand what you're saying. Like, don't tell me when I got to get
Mhm.
over shit because you told me I had to get over it. I try to be the bigger person, and they stay shit in my face again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
years later, treated me the same, and I was doing them a
Mhm.
fucking favor. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I've definitely had people close to me who, didn't always treat me the best way. And there came points in my life where I really questioned if these people would even be in my life, long term in the future. If at some point I would just have to cut them off. And while we've never addressed what they've done to me or how I felt, um, things have gotten a lot better, but like those points of hurt are still there. They're always going to be there because there's never ever been an actual resolve to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that's both family members. I mean, I've had a friend the same way. Like they very much uh I felt like I put way more effort into the friendship than I ever got back. And because for the longest time, like growing up, we moved around a lot because my mom was in the military. So it was very hard for me as a kid to make long lasting friends because when you're a child and you move to a different place, communication, like you're not mature enough to keep that communication going. So inevitably, those whatever friendships you had. So for the longest time, I never had long lasting friends. I had friends for whatever period of time I was in that area. And so when I did start making long lasting friendships, when I would be okay with whatever they were willing to give. I would be okay just because I wanted to have my friend. I wanted to have my
Right.
friends. And so as you grow up and you start to learn that you're the one who's just putting all that effort in and you're not getting it in return, you just kind of have to accept, that it's not going to be what you hoped. And so
Mm.
it's gotten to the point where those friendships are now more, I don't even want to call acquaintances. Like I don't know anything about their lives. They don't know anything about my lives, like other than maybe what we see on social media. And so we're cordial. I'll always have love for these people, but it would take, some apologizing, some admitting of what you've done for me to be able to feel like I can open up to you in any way.
Right.
Um, because I mean, at the end of the day, nothing was ended in like a bad note. Like there was no
Right.
blowout fight or anything. It eventually faded, but it faded because I stopped making any effort.
Right.
That's why it faded. So
Those situations sometimes can serve as kind of like a spring cleaning. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
baby, if you were not contributing nothing around here, like I'm just dragging this bag for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shit that you got. We just cleaned out our kitchen cabinets today.
Yeah.
And there's stuff in there that we realized like we kept it because we're like, okay, we'll be using it something as an ingredient one day. And then we was like, we ain't using this shit, throw it out. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. That's how I
Yeah.
look at it. It's like you have these things because maybe one day some use is gonna come of it or something.
Mhm.
And then you just realize, like, bitch, I never missed this thing. Like
I
I
I
didn't even
think
remember it was there, you know?
Yeah. I think I also think it's the fairy tale of, I think we're so heavily influenced by like film and television, especially me because of it's what I do, but film and
Right.
television and books and stuff like that about how you have these people that you grew up with and they just stay in your lives for the rest of your lives, and it's just a nice feeling to think of these people going through life with you and you being able to experience. But I've learned that there's just some people who are meant to come in and be with you in that moment,
Come
and you
on.
learn whatever lesson you need to learn from that friendship or
Hey.
that relationship. And then you
Mm.
have to they and then it's gone and then it's done.
That's the
And
season.
it
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I mean, maybe it's a mutual thing, but if it's
Mm-hmm.
not a mutual thing, you just there's going to be other relationships, other people out there.
Come on,
Um
Crystal. Pass the
so
crystal, y'all. Give it up for Deacon Bishop, Pastor, Missionary Crystal. Okay, you gave us a word here tonight. You gave us a word here tonight. I hope y'all got y'all notebooks out. Cause she gave y'all a gem just then. Let them
Mm,
people come into your life, serve their purpose, and if they not serving it no more, let them go.
yeah.
Let them go, and don't let them make you shut yourself out for new relationships, no new friendships and stuff. And it don't matter what age you at,
Mhm.
child. There's people out there who share your interests. You
Mhm.
you literally never know
Never know.
until you try.
Mhm.
And I'm
I
telling you,
mean, let's be real. If I had taken one look at Timmy here at 21 years old and
20,
thought to myself, 20,
20.
and thought to myself, if I had gone with my initial reaction, be like, I'm not fucking with this guy, we wouldn't be here anymore. We wouldn't be here anymore.
Girl, literally a decade later.
A decade
A,
later, I
a decade
know.
later, next month?
Right. Something
Yeah,
like that,
a
yeah.
decade later, next
I
month.
mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
whole continents away from each other,
Oh,
and we're still here. Look
we're
at
still
that.
here. Hallelujah. You ready to move on to the next
I
segment?
am.
Stop preaching to these
Yes.
people. Let's do it. So, we have some more celebrity nuggets for y'all because
Hmm.
I love this new schedule that we on, Crystal, because we
Yeah.
can actually like keep up with the news and bring
Hmm.
it to the people instead of just talking about it to each other in the pre-show meeting like we
Yeah, yeah,
used
yeah,
to
yeah.
do.
Like,
We can actually
have you
talk about it.
heard?
Right, girl, did you?
Crazy.
Right, and we be getting breaking news before the show, and it be delaying the show an hour and a half because we like, damn,
Yeah.
we can't talk about it because it's gonna be a week and a half old by the time the show release. So now
Hmm.
that we on a tighter schedule, we can actually talk about these things. So, Crystal,
Hmm.
I understand that you have something to bring to the table first.
Yeah. So, for anyone who might be interested in a little bit of juicy drama that may be going down. I can't say for certain. It's all speculation. Nobody has actually commented on it, but fans have peeped it, and I think it's a real thing. I really do. So, if you guys don't know, Blake Lively recently is on a press tour for her newest movie called It Ends With Us. And I personally, I don't know what the movie is about. I don't. I think it has something to do with domestic violence. It's some sort of romance type
Oh,
thing.
duh.
But that's not what
A
that
domestic
this whole thing
violence
about.
romance, bitch. How
Yeah,
did that
I don't
work?
I don't know. But it is based off of Colleen Hoover, who's the author of the books. Now, I will say,
Yes.
please remember that name because we are in the future going to be seeing a lot of Colleen Hoover. It's about to be the Colleen Hoover is about to be the next Nicholas Sparks. Like every one of
Girl,
her books, I'm not going to be surprised if ultimately ends up in a movie or a TV adaptation
I'm literally
because
looking at her book on my wife's bookshelf
okay,
right now.
so
Like,
she
that's
has
this lady
become
is.
extremely popular in the last couple years, and especially now that TikTok, the book talk thing, is becoming a big thing. She's her name is being put out there. I have not read any of her books. I do plan to. I have a list, but we're not here for that. We're here for the drama that seems to be happening in terms of the promotion of this film.
Mm.
So Blake Lively is the star of the film. Her co-star, his name is Justin Baldoni. He is her co-star, her other star. He's also the director of this film. Um, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you guys have been paying attention to the premieres and stuff like that, but nobody is interacting with Justin. And Justin is not interacting with any of them.
Mm.
So, in a typical premiere, for instance, just because this is coming to my mind, for Twilight, you had Bella and Edward. They did interviews together, they did photo shoots together, they walked the red carpet. I mean, even before they were dating, they were taking pictures with each other. You know, None of that is happening here. Blake Lively is doing all of her press with the author of the book and with the other co-stars. Justin is doing everything by himself. Like, I don't know if anyone else is doing this stuff with him. People have pointed
Mm.
out that while Justin follows all of the co-stars, the author, all that stuff, nobody follows him back on Instagram. I don't know if they did previously, but as of right now, they don't. Also, while he has been very kind in terms of speaking about Blake, he's been praising her, talking about how creative she is, how great she is. If someone asked him recently, do you plan on directing a sequel? Because there's a sequel and all their characters return to it. He said no, but he does think that Blake Lively is ready for it. Like, she should do it. Like, he has been, any question they've asked him about her, he's been very direct. It is the very opposite with the rest of the cast and crew. When they ask questions, like when they say specifically, what is it like working with Justin as a director and a co-star? How did you guys build that trust? It's like they see that question and they're like, so it's very sidestep. It's very generalized. Like, oh yeah, I mean, just the filming in general was just, it can be really intense, and you have the source material, and there's no like, oh yeah, well, with Justin, with what he was doing, there's nothing. There's no mention of this man. Pictures, no tagging, nothing in the interviews. When they usually when you do a film premiere, you'll have the author, the director, the stars, they'll come up, they'll do some Q&A with the audience sometimes. Just Blake Lively and the author. Like,
oh my God.
So no one is saying anything.
Do you think they think it's going to be a flop? So they're trying to distance themselves from him since he's the director?
Because people have been saying, they're predicting that it's going to do really well. Because Colleen Hoover's books in general are really popular. So they're already predicting that it's going to be a really great success, and that inevitably the sequel will probably get greenlit too. But he's not, they're not interacting with each other. They are not fucking with each other. I don't know why. The rumor has it that there was some sort of falling out between him and Blake in the post-production. Some are even trying to say that her husband Ryan and her are like doing too much creatively. Like they have their own version of the film or something like that. And that Ryan had actually rewrote parts of the script, which Blake did say he did something like that, like something about the opening. But that could just be pure. Like I said, everything is pure speculation. These are like sources on the inside. But yeah, like, how does this make you guys, if you're fans of the book, how does that make you feel? Like, is it something that you're like, okay, this is kind of ruining the moment for me? Like, these two characters, which are supposed to be the love interests, somehow hate each other in real life? Or does it not affect you at all? It's just like, whatever. Like, as long as the movie is good, it's good. I'm just curious.
I have an irrational disdain for Justin Baldoni.
Really?
And that's because he was Raphael on what's that show with Gina Robbery? Jane the Virgin.
But
I can't stand that nigga. I can't stand him because I hated Raphael. I wanted Raphael to get kicked into a pit of fire. Okay. If you ever seen Jane the Virgin, you will understand the fact that Jane, it's been years. The fact that Jane ended up with Raphael at the end, it pisses me off to this day. I hate Raphael anyway, because he was just such a manipulator. Anyway, because he was playing both sides of the fence and everything was Jane's fault. And dumbass Jane just accepted the fact that everything was her fucking fault. I think that Justin played Raphael too well because that is a part of his personality. And I feel like he was, if it's true that Blake Lively's husband had something to do with script changes, I know Justin did not take that well. So that's where that bad blood come from. And if you're a person working on that set and it becomes evident that you're gonna have to take Justin's side or Blake's side,
Mm-hmm.
and she is a Hollywood darling,
Yeah.
fashion darling. If you had to pick somebody's side to be on, and you looking at their resumes, whose side are you picking, Crystal?
Probably Ryan and Blake's. Yeah.
I mean, like,
But I will say one thing.
Mhm.
So this is where I am having a little bit of, because on the one hand, if you think about in terms of them as people, I've never heard bad things said about either party. And it's just the way it's being handled where I'm leaning a little bit more towards his side, only because I
Mhm.
don't know the actual facts. But
Right.
where Blake and everyone else has chosen silence and to dodge and to not address anything, he has said some really wonderful things about them in general. Like, for instance, when he was on the red carpet and they asked about him stepping back from the limelight, he said, "This isn't my night. This is a night for all the women who made this movie before. This is a night for Blake. This is a night for Colleen. I'm just so grateful that we're here 5 years in the making." He said, let me see, what else did he say? He has said that you can't summarize Blake's contribution in a sentence when it comes to the making of this movie, because her energy imprint is all over the movie and really, really made the film better, and from the beginning to the end. He said that Ryan Reynolds was so generous and a creative genius, and then asked if he would work with the pair again. He said, "If they'd have me."
Mm.
He's just been, and like I said, when they asked if he would be directing, he said no. And they asked who they think should happen. He said, "I think that there are better people for that one. I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think."
Okay.
I like how he's just
Handling
been, yeah,
all of
I
it.
just kind of like how he's been handling it. He's just been so positive in terms, it's almost like I can relate to that. It's almost like whatever beef we had, like that's over there. Like, at the end of
Right.
the day, like, this is something we've created. This is something and in terms of performances and all that stuff, like, we did a good job. And I just
Right.
like how he's kind of handling that.
Okay. He's staying above the drama, but the others are kind of playing into the drama by
Yeah.
not, you know.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, girl, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like maybe there's some other shit going on
Oh, for sure.
behind the scenes. Like, I don't know if this, because has anybody seen the movie? Have any like critic reviews
No,
come out?
probably
That's
critics. But I'm
I
sure
would
critics, because
I would
they get
be
early access. But
exactly. I would be
yeah,
interested to see the critic reviews because it's sounding to me like the other side, Blake Lively and them side, is trying to preserve the next steps because they didn't feel like this one did what it was supposed to do, and
right.
they're blaming him for that.
But at the same time,
But
it's very hard to. I've almost never looked at a critic review and gone, and because a lot of, I'm not, granted,
true,
when it comes to the general public, they don't think about movies the same way a
the
critic
same.
does.
Yeah,
So what critics will pan as being terrible or horrible could end up being a cult classic or a favorite
that is
among
true.
the general people. Which is
Yeah,
why I always say, don't read articles and then think, "Oh, this must be bad." No, go see it. You might actually end up loving it or enjoying it or something,
mm,
because that often happens to me. So yeah, I don't
okay.
know.
Well, thank you for that, Crystal.
You're
I'm
welcome.
now I'm because I had heard nothing about this. Don't
Yeah, yeah,
go in
yeah,
my circles. This don't
yeah, yeah,
penetrate. For me, it's
yeah.
just a little. I'm you're in the hood now, baby, over here. So it's a little different. This ain't Sesame Street. Well, thank you for that. I have a few celebrity nuggets that I would like to share with you. This is going to be a
Okay.
bit of a longer episode, but y'all deserve it because y'all didn't get one last week, okay? And y'all might not get one next week. No, y'all gonna get one.
And
Y'all gonna
it
get one.
is all Timmy's fault.
Because I just sprung something on Crystal before the podcast that I forgot. I didn't mention to her, so but there will be an episode. I'm just kidding, y'all. Stay tuned. A few things that I want to go over. I'm gonna make this really quick so we can get on to the rest of the stories and close out the show because we ain't trying to be here all evening. The Olympics. Crystal, have you been watching the Olympics?
Not all that much. More like highlights, just because I'm working the whole time, so I don't.
Right.
I haven't been seeing it too much.
And you know what? That is fair. As it stands right now, I have been watching the Olympics, mostly track and field. I was watching some weightlifting today, handball, different random things, shooting, all that kind of stuff. Very fun. I feel like this is the best, like, performance-wise Olympics that we've had in a long time. It's really, really engaging. There have been a lot, especially in the track and field, of records broken, national records, Olympic records, personal bests. It's been all over the board. It's been so exciting to see. As it stands right now, they're actually playing basketball right now. So that's why I keep peeping over my computer because it's looking like a good game over there. It's the finals between the U.S. and France. So that'll let you know what they were recording. Medal standings right now, the U.S. has 37 gold medals, 42 silver, and 42 bronze, a total of 121 medals. We are actually trailing China in gold medals, 38, China 37, the United States, but hopefully we can grasp some more. I'm hoping that's the latest count because the women and the men tonight both got gold in the 4x400 relay in track and field. Also won silver in the high jump. And the U.S. is looking pretty. I don't want to jinx them, but it's looking like a good game over there for the U.S. as far as the basketball. So we'll see where we end up by the time this episode comes out. I wanted to give a special shout out to Simone Biles. Simone Biles, you did your freaking thing, girl. You came back. I love that you mentioned the fact that your mental health played a major role in you doing better this time around, feeling more comfortable this time around. You look so happy, so energetic, really connected to what you were doing out there. So shout out to her. 3 gold medals and a silver. I know that's right, girl.
I know that's right.
Shout out number 1 gymnast of all time. I also wanted to give a shout out to Sha'Carri Richards. Sha'Carri, gold in the women's 4x100 relay and also a silver in the women's 100. I know people were anticipating her getting the gold in the women's 100, but they were just one better. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. This is her first Olympics. She was supposed to be at the last one. They played in her face. For her to come out and get a gold and a silver in her first Olympics is beyond amazing to me. Yes. Shout out to her. Shout out to the women's relay team. Shout out to the women's 4x400 relay team. They also got gold. And the men have been. The U.S. has just been tearing it up in track and field this year.
I've noticed that, yeah.
Between gold, silver, and bronze, like they have been placing and doing extraordinary things. Shout out to all the athletes. Botswana has been like, as far as races go, they have been the surprise this year, placing gold and silver in multiple races, and they're just so excited to watch. The 4x400, I didn't know who to root for because I was really excited to see Tobogo, in that anchor position. Like he is a machine, but the U.S. pulled it out in the end. So shout out to them. That's your Olympics update. That'll be the last one because they're over tomorrow. Otherwise, Travis Scott, speaking of Olympics, was arrested for getting in an altercation with a security guard at the Four Seasons, girl. He got arrested. However, update today, he was released with no charges. So I guess it pays.
I guess it pays.
To be Travis Scott, because if it would have been my black ass or your Filipino and Caucasian ass,
still be over there,
girl. Okay, clink clink.
We be having to learn French now.
Exactly. And something for, speaking of the Caucasians, something for y'all. Last story. Taylor Swift concert in Austria was canceled
I
last week
saw that, but in Vienna, right?
in Vienna. Yeah.
But her people were compensated. Did you
Oh, girl.
see?
Oh, there was
At
never
this
a doubt in my
point,
mind.
at this
There was
point, it's
never a doubt.
cancel concert.
Yeah.
Give me that necklace.
Yeah. Actually, there was another artist called Sir who is signed
Mm-hmm.
to TDE, which
Mm-hmm.
is the same label that Kendrick Lamar is signed to.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a show in Canada.
Mm.
And you know the whole beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake that's going on.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
show
yeah.
was canceled in Canada, I believe, for they think there was going to be some ruckus there, or just to be petty.
Right.
And he said the same thing. He was like, "Bitch, I ain't worried about it. They still got to pay me." And I'm like, "I know that's right." But a few details that we do have on the Taylor Swift situation. If y'all hadn't heard it, there was a terrorist plot that was thwarted in
Mm.
Vienna. Vienna is such a. I was just in Vienna earlier
Right.
this year.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful place, such a calm place. I was really shocked to hear of all the places it was there.
Yeah.
But two men have been arrested. Both had pledged their allegiance to ISIS. They are Austrian citizens. I don't know what their background is. I don't know how that all worked, but they were radicalized. And the police did find bomb making materials at one of the gentlemen's homes. So that's the latest on that. Shout out Taylor Swift for getting her coin, regardless. Okay.
And for spreading it too, because everyone got those swastika. How do you say it?
The what?
The
The
necklaces.
Swarovski?
Yeah. The people could turn in their tickets and get one of those necklaces.
I swore. What?
Yes. That's what I was saying. Her in compensation, they could turn in their tickets and get one of those necklaces.
Get a Swarovski necklace?
Yeah.
I mean, girl, what's a Swarovski necklace? Unless you finna get on stage and have the lights on you and let them bitch dance, what you gonna do with a Swarovski necklace? I mean,
I'm
to be honest,
still. I'll take that damn necklace.
but bitch, I'll take it. Okay, and everywhere I go, I'll be like, bling bling. Bitches is mad. Get straight from Taylor Swift. She's my homegirl, not yours.
We're besties.
We're besties,
What
I
did
missed her
your
show.
bestie get you?
Exactly. I missed her show and she gave me a gift. So, what can you say? Ma'am, you ready to move on with the rest of the show?
Yes.
Wrap this thing up. All
Wrap
right.
this up. All
You
right.
are up.
I am. Okay. So this is from Am I the Asshole? And it says, Am I the Asshole? After trying for a baby without success, my boyfriend confessed he got a vasectomy done years ago and didn't want to tell me, so I wouldn't break up with him over it. Am I the asshole for not taking the news very well?
I am in shock.
Saying I'm heartbroken and pissed is an understatement. For context, I, 29 female, and my now ex-boyfriend, 34 male, have been dating for a bit over 7 years. We met through a dating app and we had an instant connection. Early on in the relationship, I wasn't seriously thinking about marriage and kids, but we discussed it. And while I don't care for marriage, I've always been sure I'd like to have 1 to 2 kids, and he was on board with having kids eventually. I stressed this because from our very first date, I told him I wanted to have a family. It's very important to me, and if he had told me he didn't want kids back then, I wouldn't have progressed the relationship. A few years ago, we were both doing great. I work from home and make decent money, and so does he. We had just bought our first home together, so I suggested we could start trying for kids within the next few years. He was up for it and seemed as enthusiastic as I was. But then, although we were actively trying for a baby, I wasn't getting pregnant. I started having severe anxiety over it. I thought there was something wrong with me. I started taking vitamins, eating healthier, exercising more, but I couldn't get pregnant. Not being able to get pregnant severely affected my self-esteem. Why can some people get pregnant despite using birth control perfectly, and I couldn't get pregnant even while tracking my period and doing everything right? I felt like shit. My boyfriend tried to brush it off, saying that it was okay or that maybe we just weren't meant to be parents, and then would stress how great our relationship was, how maybe me not getting pregnant was a sign, and that even if we didn't have kids, we could be a dink couple and enjoy life. Now, while there's nothing wrong with being child free, that's not the life I personally want. If I can't have kids biologically, I'm perfectly fine with adopting or fostering. But in my future, I've always envisioned having a family with kids, and that's what I've worked my ass off for all these years. Anyway, to cut it short, after a year and a half of trying with no success, I decided to visit a fertility clinic and get a few tests done to check my fertility. To my surprise, my test came out completely fine. Then the fertility clinic suggested to bring in my partner to check the quality of his sperm. When I got home and told him about it, he got visibly nervous and tried to make excuses not to go, saying he was busy, that he's scared of doctors, or that we should just keep trying for a few more years. I got very suspicious because he's normally a bit of a hypochondriac and he's certainly not scared of doctors. After I asked about his weird behavior and I pressed for answers, yes, I know it's wrong, he blurted out that he had a vasectomy done 4 years ago. I was baffled, and I still don't get it. Before seriously considering kids, we often talked about the future and our hypothetical family. Hell, we have been actively trying for a baby for over a year. He then told me that he decided against having kids some time ago, but that he never told me because he never told me because I probably would have broken up with him, which he didn't want. When I asked him why he didn't tell me while we were trying for kids, knowing how depressed I became over my fertility issues, he said that he hoped that when I saw I wasn't getting pregnant, I would perhaps abandon the idea and that we could just keep the relationship as it was. We had a huge fight. I was very pissed. I felt lied to, strung along, and although I know I'm still pretty young, I was hoping to be a mother before I turned 30, and now all of those plans have gone to shit. I told him how now I'd have to start over with someone else because he wasted my time. At this point, we were both crying and yelling, and he begged me to stay and offered to reverse the vasectomy and try for a baby for real. But I broke up with him on the spot and packed my things. I still love him and I want this more than anything, but I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive him for lying to me for years over something he knows was so important to me. It's been roughly a week since our fight. I moved out of the house and now I'm living with a friend temporarily until I figure out the legal house stuff. I had to get a burner phone because mine was being blown up with calls and texts from him and his family asking me to please give him another chance and saying that everyone makes mistakes, how he was scared of telling me, how since he's open to kids, we should get back together and consider counseling, etc. I don't think I can do it. What kind of relationship would we even have when we got back together? I don't want to constantly wonder what else he is lying to me about. But everyone is making me feel like I'm the bad guy for not forgiving him when he came clean to me. So am I the asshole?
First of all, fuck him. Like what you asking us for? You already did everything you were supposed to do. You left his ass. That's it. You said it yourself. He wasted your time. He lied to you. That man played in your face. That man is selfish. That is one of the most brazen examples of selfishness that I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
That man lied to you for all that time, making you believe that there was something wrong with you for not being able to have kids. That man sat there and watched you get depressed, watch you squirm, watch you take pregnancy tests over and over and over again, probably every time your period was late, and you were hopeful that was when you had finally conceived. That man watched you go through all of this stuff. He knew that you was going to make that appointment to go up there and get tested. Think of any time you think of forgiving that man, think of all the moments that he had to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And think of all of those moments and realize that he decided to lie to you to preserve his comfortability and his way of living.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't want no kids. Oh, but now all of a sudden that you mad and you upset and you willing to leave him. Oh, never mind. I'll go reverse this thing right now. We can have kids. Fuck you. And that bag of sperm you got. Okay? Because at this point, I hope that bitch shrivel up and fall off. I hope the next time you go to scratch your nuts in the middle of the night, it turn to dust. I hope you pull up a fistful of ash. As far as I'm concerned. Girl, he didn't piss me off.
Yes.
Because how dare you play with somebody else's life like that?
I
How
know.
dare you waste somebody? Girl, we get one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
One of them. Uno. That's the one thing that's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you get one of these, baby. You don't get no redo.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you would waste my time knowing how important having children is to me, just so you can have me and not the children? Bitch, I might listen. I may have to waste one of these. I'm gonna have to waste this one life on sitting in jail. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it because you might not wake up out your sleep in the morning. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disappear in the middle of the night, bitch. I'm gonna be in Mexico getting my salsa. Like I'll be down there, Dora the Explorer. Okay, I'm gonna taste every goddamn color of the flag down there. You understand me? I'm gonna have a ball before the federales come and get me and send me back to the United States. But bitch, before then, oh girl, I'm gonna have a ball. I'm gonna have a ball. I'm coming back with a couple of STDs, a venereal, situation. Like I'm walling out because I know I'm gonna spend the rest of my days behind them bars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like you said, this woman did everything right. She expressed her very clear intentions for her future. She made it very clear this is what she wanted. And you got to also look into it in the broader context of everything. They've been in a relationship for 7 years. 3 years into this relationship, that's when he decided, I'm going to get a vasectomy. And then wasted the next 4 years of her life by watching the person he claimed to love the most suffer because of him. So yeah, not the asshole
mentally,
at all.
physically, like
you like you said, I mean, I'm sorry your plans didn't go exactly the way you planned, but you are still young enough. You will find that person. You will have those kids. It just will not be with this man.
And just make sure that the next man you get, that his equipment is much wider, much longer. Like, girl, I want you to have the time of your life.
Be
this
selfish.
is your second chance, bitch. God damn it, Crystal. Be selfish, girl. Get that thing that's gonna have you second guessing every time y'all climb up under them sheets. Like, damn, can I do this? Get that thing. Okay. Girl, we cutting up on here tonight. Let me go ahead and share my last story so we can get the hell up out of here.
Copy.
Listen, my wife, I'm sorry, I keep looking to the side, y'all, but my wife is over here looking at this basketball game and she is hooping, like she is jumping and skipping on the couch. And I'm like, what is going on? Golly. Okay, here we go. Last story for y'all on this here podcast tonight. This one comes from the Slub Wedding.
Okay.
The subreddit r/am I the asshole, and it is entitled "Am I the asshole for telling my sister that my other pregnant sister is planning to name her baby after her deceased son, causing her to cut her off?" Because I bought the drama tonight. You look at y'all. I done gooped Crystal. Crystal is shocked and appalled. Okay. So she says, I have two sisters. I'm the middle sister. My older sister lost her son late 2022, so it hasn't been quite 2 years yet. He passed at 6 months due to SIDS. My older sister has been mourning him ever since. My little sister is pregnant with her first child now, and she found out it's a boy. When I was over at her house, we were talking about her plans and the pregnancy and the baby. And she told me that she plans to name her son the name of my older sister's deceased son and to keep it a surprise. I can tell she thought it was an honor thing, and knowing my older sister, she would be devastated if it happened. I told my little sister that I don't think it's a good idea and that our older sister would not find it sweet and an honor, and it would hurt her even more. We argued about it, and she said that I'm being dramatic. Even though I know it was supposed to be a surprise, I knew my older sister would be even more depressed than she already was if our little sister named her son after her deceased son. So I went against my little sister's wishes and told my older sister. As I expected, she was pissed. She said it was incredibly disgusting and selfish to do that, knowing how fresh it was for her and that she does not want to see a baby with her son's name in the family, which I agreed with. She was very grateful that I told her she was very grateful that I told her before he was born because she says she doesn't know how badly that would have triggered her. She, of course, confronted my little sister and they argued about it for a while, with everyone in our family siding with my older sister. My little sister called me in tears, saying I'm the reason that my older sister cut her off and isn't speaking to her because she's still going to name her son after our nephew, even though my older sister begged her not to, saying that she didn't find it an honor and it would hurt her to see another child named after her deceased son. Girl. I told my sister that she is a horrible person for still going through with this, knowing how much it hurts our older sister. She says I'm an asshole for telling her since it was supposed to be a surprise at birth and that seeing her nephew with her son's name would have made her realize it's a good thing and that she's just trying to be a good person. Am I the asshole for making them fight? Crystal.
I'm talking to the younger sister right now.
Come on.
Mr. Lulu,
Mm.
I need you to come back down to reality for a minute here.
Come on.
Because girl, like you're about to name your child after your deceased nephew. Not even a few years since his death. And you're going to force your older sister to watch you and the son that she doesn't get to have anymore live out your lives. You're going to experience all the things, hopefully as long as your child doesn't, then God forbid, but you're going to experience all the things that she's not going to while having to hear the name of her dead son over and over and over again. It is one thing for an outside source to have the same name as her son, but you are supposed to be a constant presence in her life throughout the years, and you're already severing the relationship that she would potentially have with this child because she's never going to be able to look at him. She's never going to be able to listen, to hear him, be near him. And you are setting, you really thought, you obviously got the pick me energy. You really thought that this was going to go your way, that you were going to be able to watch your sister, be forced to do this. You thought you were going to surprise her and people were going to tell her, well, it happened. It's here now. Just get over it. This is your sister. This is your nephew.
It would have been different if it was a middle name. If it was a middle name, we could have got with it. We could have got jiggy with it.
We could have got jiggy with it.
But since it's the first name, girl, you are disrespecting me and my child.
You wanted it surprised because you knew it was wrong. You know it's wrong. You're sitting here playing the victim, saying you're forcing this. It would have been good if it was a surprise. No, you knew that if it was a surprise, then she had less time to fight you about it. And that's what you wanted. You wanted the birth certificate to be signed and dated and done with, so that she had no choice but to go along with it. The outcome that you are now facing was inevitable. It doesn't matter if she had time to think about it or not. Either way, she was going to be cutting you off. Like, this whole situation was going to happen. It just was brought forth sooner. And the fact that you choose to blame others for your action, you're sitting here saying you're the reason why we're fighting when everybody is against you. Nobody is with you on this one. So the fact that you can't see that nobody is with you on this one because of you and your actions, you deserve to be alone. And I feel sorry for your child who's now not going to have the family they should, because you're alienating them from him.
Isn't it insane? Isn't it insane? Like, you are so like self-absorbed and just not willing to see the forest for the trees, that you're still going to go through. Like when somebody has expressed to you, begged you, please don't do this. It's going to hurt me. Like she's like, no, but bitch, you're going to see it. Like you're going to see it my way. Like I'm
Yeah.
right. I'm right. You can't possibly rewrite. So I'm going to do it anyway. And one day you'll understand why that this is, I'm honoring you.
Right.
Girl, have you ever considered that I don't want to be honored by you? Your honor does nothing for me.
No.
In my depression with the fact that I lost my child at 6 months. Girl, you talking about nightmare fuel. Oh my God. Anybody who got children out there, knowing how attached you get to your children, to imagine going through that. Child, I'm about to roll up in the ball right now. Ain't no fucking way.
No.
Like, and for that lady to express it to you and you just ignore her.
You
once
deserve
again,
that loneliness, honestly.
I hope that you run a red light and somebody clip your bumper, knock that bitch off. Not a full accident, but I hope you need to call your insurance and file a claim. And I hope that your deductible is high. I just want small inconveniences, okay?
Small inconvenience. But yeah, OP, not the asshole. You absolutely looked out for your sister in this case. You did the right thing. And if this is the end of a relationship with your little sister, I mean, that is her choice.
I hope your little sister walks out the sole of her shoe one day. I hope that just the glue lift up off that bitch and she leave the sole behind, barefoot on the pavement.
And please, if she does eventually go with this name, and you do choose to interact with her, just give the child a different name. Never call him by his name.
Never call that baby the name.
Never call him by it. If his name,
he's a little Enrique to y'all.
Yes, exactly. Just give him something. Call him Simba. Call him Stitch. Call him something else.
Shaquad.
Yeah.
If y'all have a bunch of like Thomas, James, Timothy's in your family, he's got to be Shaquad.
Exactly.
Hey, just a little blonde hair, blue eyed Shaquad.
And watch him grow up preferring that name.
Okay. Yeah, my name's Shaquad. He gonna be pulling all the hoes. You might be doing him a favor, actually. A white boy named Shaquad. Then all right, he might be going to a HBCU. And, he might end up being a Q dog. Ooh. I almost made a mistake. Because you know them Greek people, they don't play about their shit. I was about to do the little thing. Girl, I was about to get us canceled.
Take us out of here.
Before we get out of here, Crystal, I almost forgot, but I do want to address one thing. And Crystal knows what I'm about to address. Miss Ma'am, I forgot your name from the YouTube. Miss Ma'am from the YouTube.
But you're right.
I just want to say thank you so much for your comment. I am so happy that you are enjoying the show. This is my first time seeing you in the comment section of the YouTube. We a little family over there. So we recognize y'all names and stuff. But this is my first time seeing you. Thank you for going back and watching all the episodes. Thank you for keeping up with us. Thank you for telling us what you liked about the show and just showing us love. We really appreciate that. What I wanted to say was, when you're ready to provide me the budget, right, to upgrade my background, just go ahead and send that over. All right, we can set up a T and Crystal's Cash app. You can send it straight to me, and I will put whatever you want on this wall. Okay.
Miss Brenda Laura, that's her
Miss
name.
Miss Brenda, when you ready to cash that check, when you're ready to write that check, I'm willing to cash it. So just let me know whenever it's convenient for you. Hit us up, tandcrystal@gmail.com. We can correspond about how you want to handle payment. I'm flexible. Okay, Western Union check, direct deposit, baby, I got it. Okay, we can talk about it, and I will put something up here on this wall.
And Miss Brenda, in regards to me, I'm with you. So,
but you know what's crazy? Crystal has been in my abode. she is terrorizing me because she know how this shit set up. There is absolutely nothing I can do to change it.
I don't believe that. I think something can be done. I've been fighting this fight for a year, Brenda. For over a year.
You gonna have these people thinking I'm lying. I swear to y'all, if there was something else I could do, I can't get what Crystal got right now.
That's true.
The way my shit set up in here, I can't. I could,
something.
I'm giving y'all lights. I'm giving y'all a camera. I'm giving y'all action. You know, my face ain't enough.
No.
Oh my god.
No, it's not.
All right. Well, until I can change my background, I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. Y'all gonna have to live with it. Okay. If y'all, matter of fact, if y'all want to send in some fan mail, y'all want to draw something, y'all want, you know what? Let's do that. People that's listening to the Tea and Crystals podcast, if you draw it, it can be graphic design, it don't matter. As long as it can be sent to teaandcrystal@gmail.com. I don't care what it say. I will print it. I swear to y'all, I will print it and I will put it on, I will tape it to the wall behind me. It can say, fuck that nigga. And I will put it, I'ma just, have to X out because I can't put that on YouTube. But I'll put it on the wall. I swear for God. I'll do it. But until then, y'all can kiss my ass. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, because we said a lot on this here podcast, make sure that you leave us a 5-star review and a written review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. If you like what you saw, make sure that you leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe on the YouTube. Go on over there and join Miss Brenda and cussing my ass off and not having a background. That's okay. As long as y'all are in the comment section, I'm cool with it. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your story or send me something to put on my wall, you can do so at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Make sure you look in the description for everything that I'm mentioning, because everything is linked and mentioned there. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of this extra long episode? This is a magnum episode.
I know. Miss Brenda, I appreciate you for joining me in this fight. For the rest of you guys who would like to join us, please leave your comments, suggestions. I'm here for it. But thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Waiting for the hearts. Bye, y'all.